of the leadership at the FTC specifically looked at him and said, does your client ask what is their goal on the call? And he said, yes. And they said, that is an implied earnings claim. It's goal setting.
Would have thought, indeed. And I feel you. I actually have a client of mine operates an ayahuasca retreat actually in Peru, and he's an American citizen. And it turns out that if you run a foreign business as a U.S. citizen, there's a second kind of tax you have to pay on top of your usual income tax. He didn't know it, was non-compliant for 10 years. And then one day the IRS just showed up and said, we're going to take all your stuff. They said something like, you owe us $250,000 or you're going to spend 111 years in jail. I don't know how they arrived at 111 years. Like 110 was obviously not severe enough, but 112 was just way over the top. But you know, same deal. Like once you have the government up in your thing, it's like you would much rather just not have had that in the first place. So I'm glad you're sharing this. I wonder, just before you go, I want to be super respectful of your time. I know you're a busy man, especially we talked about the kids, but I'd love to just hear some of the maybe 3 to 5 things or whatever that correct number is of things like that they really like to focus on that you would like folks to kind of know about. And then as well, maybe we can end just a little bit with whatever you want to direct folks to next, the books, anything else that that you can't sell anymore that you're still involved in.
Yeah. All right. So here are the 4 words that my case came down to. And according to my attorney, this is not my opinion because I'm not legally allowed to have one, I guess. My attorney feels and says that had these 4 words not existed on my sales calls, my entire case would have been very different. How different? Very different. Possibly could have gone away. We don't know. 4 words on a sales call. What is your goal? Okay, so here's the thing, guys. First and foremost, right now, they are the heaviest on sales calls. They are reviewing one-to-one sales calls. That's their biggest area of enforcement. Section 19 of the Federal Trade Commission Act. It's where they have the most rights currently. The Supreme Court shot down some stuff for them in June 2021, which changed the way they're going after companies. So what is your goal is an implied claim, because the customer comes back and says, well, I want to make $10,000 a month. And then you say, great, we can help you with that. Or great, let's do it. Or great, here's the next step. You just agreed to it. You just made an implied earnings claim. You have to have massive substantiation and typicality studies. Make sure that that's a typical result before you can make any kind of claim to it. Most people don't have a lick of typicality studies, so it makes it illegal. In my case, that's the biggest thing. I told you, we had a paralegal reviewing every call. That was the only uncompliant thing on our sales calls. We weren't using testimonials. We weren't using case studies. We weren't using, I did now that I review it, I found some implications, and they don't like implications at all. But that was the biggest one that they really said, it's called goal setting. And there's no official documentation out there about this, but goal setting falls under implied earnings claim. The attorney, Greg, tells a story about when he was in the FTC offices and one of the leadership at the FTC specifically looked at him and said, does your client ask what is their goal on the call? And he said, yes. And they said, that is an implied earnings claim. It's goal setting. So it's not documented, but he's heard it multiple times from them. All right. So number 1, that was it. Number 2, if you're doing telesales calls at all, you're under higher risk. Number 3, substantiation. Most people don't realize the level of substantiation that is required. So in my webinars, I have a statement where I say I was voted top 3 entrepreneurs under 25 by Business Week magazine. So here's the backstory to it. So first of all, Business Week got bought out by Bloomberg. It's gone. Bloomberg hit Control-Alt-Delete, deleted it from the internet. So all the pages, the magazine, I can't even get the back issues. This is a true story. It was a long time ago. So it was like, what? I'm 40 now. And I actually, funny enough, I took it out of my stuff in 2019 because I felt like I was getting too old to talk about when I was 25, but they had it because they go back 3 years. So they had it on one of the webinars. They couldn't find it. So they said, substantiate that this is true. So it wasn't an earnings claim. It wasn't about how much money I've made, but it was a credibility claim. So any claim, credibility, awards you've won, donations you've made, money you've made, 100% you need to have substantiation that's inarguable. So for me, that could have become a big sticky point. It did. It became a sticky point for 10 days. You know how I found it? Thankfully, I found emails where I had sent links to my parents and to friends that were going directly to the article on businessweek.com. And one of my buddies gave me the idea. I took the link and I dumped it into archives.org. Yeah. And it had an archive from 10 years ago. And I was able to take screenshots of that. So substantiation, big. Number three, right? And hold on, come back to substantiation. There was a guru who not recently now, it's a couple months ago, just gave the worst advice. I saw this advice being given, and it was the FTC doesn't care about substantiation. Just make sure you refund your customers and are good to them. That's all they care about. Hello. I am a living example of that being highly untrue. And this person was giving that advice in response to someone talking about my case. I'm like, are you moronic, right? Substantiation is like the number one. Number three, testimonials. Okay, if you're using testimonials, you are right under their radar, man. They love testimonials right now. If you're using results-driven testimonials, my client got this result, my client got that result. All right, that is their key area of focus. Number one, better have a signed affidavit from that customer, allowing you to use their face, likeness, and name, and attesting to the truthfulness of that statement. Number two, get ready. No one has this. You need substantiation of that statement. People say, well, I don't know. Why do I have to? I believe him and why he said it, not me. If you're using it in your marketing, it's now your claim. So if the customer says, I made $10,000 thanks to your training, show me. I need proof, and I need to document the proof, and I need to have it on my server so that if it comes up, I have proof. Okay, fine. Some people say, I can get that. Here's where they fall apart. Number three, typicality. So is that a typical result of a typical customer? This is where most people fall apart. What we do as marketers, a lot of times we pick the best of the best, but the typical, we don't know. Can't use results-based testimonials in any shape, way, or format, in weight loss, in supplements, in make money, in financial, in crypto, unless that's established, provable through a typicality study. If you don't have it, then you use character-based testimonials, you use experience testimonials, and guess what? They work amazing, guys. Don't worry. I know it's not as sexy, but it works. I'm using it. I'm killing it with it. It's fine. Yeah. Number four, even if you have all the top three, you need to have a disclosure within proximity of where you say the testimonial, not just at the beginning of your presentation and at the very end, but if you've stacked 4 testimonials in the middle, boom, after that, you need to have a disclosure and disclaimer. So these are some of the key things. Now, these are not the only things. False scarcity, they hate it. Value stacking, bonus, this was worth $49,000. Guys, I did it too. And I'm on the other side of it, and I'm looking back, and I'm like, what the hell are we doing? Shut up. Your digital course that you're offering, it ain't worth $32,000. Like, I want to go back to my own self and slap myself across the head. And it's in my case. They talk about it. I had it on a webinar. So there's other things, but those first 3 things I just mentioned, those are like, you make claims, substantiation, testimonial usage. And if you're doing telesales, like, these are the key things I would say right now you need to like really watch out for.
Hey guys, if you like this video, you'll also like my book on Amazon called Beyond the Agency Box, which you can also find by my name, Frankie Finn, and it's got a lot of awesome reviews, and it really just goes deeper on a lot of things we're talking about, everything you need to grow and start a lifestyle agency, from the stages you'll go through to getting clients, to how to create winning offers, to high value deliverables, to wowing clients, to building teams, to building systems, and building a boring factory that's like a 7-figure money machine for you. So if you're interested, I put links for you in the video description, as well as it'll be in the pinned top comment below, and make sure to check those out.